She hadn't seen that doll in 23 years. The chipped porcelain cheeks. The faded lavender dress. The slight burn mark on the right side of the face from the time it got too close to the fireplace. It was hers. And yet, it sat on a stranger's mantle, in a town she'd never been to. "Where did you get that?" she asked, her voice shaking. The woman looked up, smiled softly and said, "Oh, it belonged to my daughter, Jessica. She left it behind before she died." But the woman standing there was Jessica. Before we begin this unbelievable journey of identity, betrayal, and a secret buried for decades, make sure to subscribe to Edgeline Stories, like this video, and comment below where you're watching from. Because trust me, the story, you're not going to believe how deep it goes. Jessica Albright lived a quiet life. She was 29, worked as a school librarian in Ohio, and spent her weekends helping her mom at the local food pantry. Her life was predictable, peaceful, and she liked it that way, until the day she got the letter. It wasn't mailed. No return address. Just her name, written in handwriting so familiar, it felt like her own. Inside was a single line. "If you want the truth, go to 214 Harvest Lane, Bellbrook." And at the bottom, tucked between the folds, a photograph. A photograph of a doll. Her doll. Celia. She hadn't seen that doll since she was 6 years old. And just like that, the memories came rushing back. The accident. The house fire. The day everything changed. Jessica's early childhood was a blur. She remembered a man with dark hair and a deep laugh. Her father. She remembered her mom. At least she thought it was her mom. But everything before the fire felt like snapshots. No full pictures. Just flashes. Screaming. Red lights. And then silence. When she woke up in the hospital, they told her both her parents were gone. The court placed her with her aunt, a woman named Ruth Albright. Ruth raised her in a small rural town, gave her love, structure, and a home. And Jessica never questioned anything. Until now. 2 days later, Jessica made the drive to Bellbrook. She told no one. The address led to a small, weather-worn cottage tucked beneath towering trees. A for sale sign tilted in the front yard. She hesitated, then knocked. A woman in her 50s answered. Pale, kind eyes. Nervous smile. "Can I help you?" Jessica glanced past her shoulder, then saw it. Celia. Sitting on the fireplace mantel like it had been there for years. That was when the stranger spoke the words that would shatter Jessica's world. "It belonged to my daughter, Jessica." Jessica froze. "That's my name." The woman's face paled. "I'm sorry." Jessica took a step back. Her heart was thundering in her chest. Was this a coincidence? Or something far more terrifying? Jessica couldn't sleep that night. She drove back to her apartment, but the woman's words kept echoing. "It belonged to my daughter, Jessica. She died in the fire." She died. But Jessica didn't die. Or had something been covered up? She couldn't ignore it anymore. She needed answers. The next morning, she called the hospital where she was taken after the house fire in 1997. After hours of being transferred, put on hold, and nearly giving up, she spoke to a retired nurse named Louise. The name Albright rang a bell. "Oh yes," Louise said. "There were 2 girls brought in that night. Sisters, we thought. One was heavily burned, the other had amnesia." Jessica's heart stopped. "What happened to the second girl?" she asked. Louise paused. "She was claimed by an aunt. Ruth Albright. Said she was her niece." "And the other girl?" Jessica pressed. Another pause. "Unidentified. Died during surgery." Jessica whispered, "What if that wasn't me?" That night, she confronted her aunt. Ruth had been kind, loving, everything Jessica thought a mother figure should be. But now, Jessica saw the cracks. "You said my parents died in that fire," Jessica said. "You said I was your niece." Ruth's hands trembled. "I did what I had to. Did you take me?" Silence. "You were left behind," Ruth finally said. "You had no one. Your father was gone. Your mother," she stopped herself. Jessica's voice rose. "She wasn't dead, was she?" Ruth looked up, tears forming in her eyes. "She survived." But she didn't remember you. They said it was better to start fresh. Jessica tracked down the woman from the cottage. Her name was Teresa Blake. And yes, she had a daughter named Jessica. But that child died in the fire, or so she thought. Jessica brought the old photo albums, the doll, her memories. Teresa brought a box of her own, a locket with a childhood photo of the same doll. And the same little girl. "That's you," Teresa whispered, touching the photo. Jessica felt her knees weaken. "You're my mother," she said. Teresa nodded, tears streaming. "They told me you didn't make it. They told me you were gone." They embraced, sobbing. The truth was out. Jessica was never an Albright. She was a Blake. Over the next few months, Jessica tried to put the pieces together. She confronted the state about her records, but many files were missing. Some things she'd never get closure on. But one thing was clear: she had a second chance. To rebuild with her real mother. To reclaim a past stolen from her. But just as she began settling into her new life, a letter arrived. No return address. Just one line. "You're not the only one they took." And a second photo. Another child with her same eyes. Another doll, nearly identical. The mystery wasn't over. Not even close. Was Jessica part of something bigger? Were there other children who vanished in the same fire? And who was behind the letters? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you thought this story was wild, wait until you hear about the boy who vanished during his school trip and whose journal was found 10 years later in a cave. That story is coming next. So make sure you hit subscribe, like, and turn on notifications. This is Edgeline Stories, where real life writes the most unforgettable scripts.